Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the Etiquette Show. I'm Conchetta Rose. Today on the Etiquette Show, we have writer, artist, curator, educator, co-founder, and production designer for Foglifter Journal and Press, a queer literary collaborative whose mission is to provide a platform for diverse writing and queer points of view, Miah Jeffra. Miah, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Now, where are you? Because it looks glorious.
I am in Sayulita, Mexico. At the It's one of the few benefits of requiring myself to teach online for the pandemic.
Be anywhere, right? That's fabulous. So tell our friends right away, what is Foglifter Journal and Press?
Sure. Foglifter Journal and the subsequent press is a literary collaborative that elevates and features queer and trans voices across the spectrum. The reason why I founded it was to work towards decentering the white male cis supremacy in literature, and to begin to provide more opportunities for representation across the queer spectrum and the trans spectrum in particular. So we really champion voices that are operating in the margins rather than, the kind of shooting for the mainstream kind of representations of reality.
Wow, that's beautiful. And how long have you established this?
We're in our 6th year.
Amazing. Well, congratulations on that. That's fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
So why do you believe it's so important to have a queer literary magazine?
There weren't many out there when we founded it, and there still aren't. Because literature already struggles to be funded. We watch, literary magazines come and go, and especially ones that don't cater to like a mainstream audience. But that unfortunately makes it so that writers and readers don't see themselves reflected in the work that they're encountering in the bookstore and, online. And so we found it really important that those voices are there in order, because art represents life, right? And so people see themselves in the art that is produced. And we wanted to make sure that, these young queer and trans writers and young queer and trans people are seeing their experiences so that they don't feel so entirely marginalized. We want to celebrate them.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, that makes it vitally important then, doesn't it, in our society?
Yes. It's definitely an act of social justice, for sure.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Oh, that gave me chills. I love that phrasing. Yes, it sure is. So do you have a mixture then of professional writers as well as maybe more amateur writers?
We do, actually. So we'll publish people who are very well established, like Eileen Miles, Kazim Ali, Danica Kelly. But then we will also publish folks that it's their very first publication. So it's across the spectrum, and the community is very enthusiastic about it. So we get a lot of well-established writers contributing to us as well. Yeah. They want to help kind of elevate the voices that we find.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. It's a networking opportunity too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for all of them.
Yes, yes. Oh wow, I love that. I want to hear more about that. How can writers reach you? How can they, get on board?
So there is kind of a broad accepted submission process for all literary magazines, and we're part of that. It's called Submittable. We have free submissions. We pay our writers. They can obviously find us through all of the social media channels and our website. But a lot of writers know where to go. They know to submit their work on this Submittable platform because most literary magazines are kind of affiliated with it.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So, what kind of topics do you cover in the magazine? All kinds?
We really want to get at the nuanced experiences that typically are not represented in mainstream literature. So, a lot of times the queer narratives that we see most made visible are like the coming out narrative, or, the closeted person who's in love with someone, right? It's like there's a couple narrative tropes, but we don't do that. We do the experiences that are more common among queers. Yeah, we have a coming out story, right? But we also want to show the transition story. We want to show, the real complicated natures of things. For example, there's a phenomenon that's nuanced where it's like, let's say, a trans male makes the transition and goes through the hormones. And then though he may have been attracted to women when he was viewed biologically as a woman, something happens when he goes through the hormones and he becomes a gay male. I mean, things like that are really, they're more illegible for a mainstream audience, but are very much a part of, the fabric and complexity of the queer spectrum. We like to kind of make those narratives visible, those experiences, and they speak more to a queer and trans audience so that they can be like, yeah, there's something refreshing about seeing my experience, on the page.
Yeah. You don't feel alone then either. You don't feel like the only one in the whole world who's ever experienced this moment. I must be bad or punished or something horrible, negative. And instead it's, no, this is a part of life. This is a part of my moment, my journey. And look at all these other people who have experienced it. This person right here on the page who I don't know had the same experience. That makes you feel connected even when you are separated. Yeah.
Right. And we, a lot of the queer and even trans narratives that have been widely published, again, are more legible to a mainstream audience, but they tend to be kind of monocultural. They tend to be mono character. And so it almost stereotypes queers. Whereas when you see their like full nuanced, complex experiences, they're more human. They're less kind of like a sideshow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like free space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can feel free to share my story because I'm not going to be judged. No one's going to throw it out, and no one's going to say, get this out of here.
Right.
So that's beautiful that you're creating that for the masses in that way. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, me and a bunch of wonderful editors. I mean, we have an incredible group. So talented, so conscientious. Yeah. So it's definitely, it's a family affair.
Yeah. So I would imagine you get several submissions a day.
We do. Yeah.
So how do you decipher which ones to choose and when?
That's a great question. We mainly decide, is this voice fresh? Is this representing, individuals who might not have been, have not seen themselves on the page? We think about that. We also think about how, the writing, the art itself, the craft is queering, what we call queering the established craft, meaning that, it's not adhering to, what is considered, good professional writing. Mm-hmm. We're interested in those voices that kind of chisel away at that, because who has established what is good writing? Well, namely straight white men, Right. And so we want to push that envelope, push that idea, and kind of broaden out the aesthetic of what good writing is. So we tend to be real excited by unique voices, voices that are unapologetic and bold, but also, language their experience in a way that's exciting.
Mm. And do you have a set number of how many submissions you accept?
No, just whatever is exciting to us. Yeah.
Isn't it make up all the rules?
That's right. Work for yourself.
Exactly. Be your own boss.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is the Violence Almanac?
Oh, okay. So I'm a writer as well. And the Violence Almanac is a collection of short stories that is addressing the various ways that violence exists in our culture, and really looks at systems that have perpetuated the violence, namely, racial capitalism, colonial ideas, certainly, the patriarchy and the misogyny that kind of trickles down from it. And so I look at violence as, what we typically would think of, domestic abuse, assault, but also disease, and, various kind of micro oppressions. I look at it all as violence, and I try to language where all of those things kind of come from and how we can mitigate them in all of the stories.
Wow. So so these are all been written by you. Okay. And how many short stories are there?
There are 12 to represent each month.
Wow. So you are busy.
A little bit.
Wow. So, okay. So there's one per month for the whole year, and people can buy this, or can they read it online, or where can they get it?
So it's releasing next Friday on the 19th. I don't even know what day it is. But it's releasing with Black Lawrence Press. It's a press out of New York that have, a lot of wonderful writers on their roster. I'm very excited about it. They're an incredible editorial team and, book design team. So, and this is my first fiction. I've had 2 other books of nonfiction, but this is my first fiction. So kind of a debut.
Wow. Fabulous. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Amazing. So again, tell our friends where they can follow you, where they can follow all your wonderful accomplishments here.
So my website is miahjeffra.com, and I think all my social media is the same. And then even more so, I'd love for people to go to foglifterpress.com. So you can see all the projects that we're doing there as well. In addition to the magazine, we also publish anthologies, and we even have a chapbook contest called Start a Riot that publishes a QTPOC writer who hasn't published before. So we give them their debut publication as well.
That's amazing. You are just sharing the love. You're not only successful in what you do, but you're sharing that with the masses. And I liked what you said about it being a social justice to do so. That mindset is just beautiful. You must know that about yourself, right?
I know it's beautiful to be a literary citizen. If you're going to be a writer with any kind of capacity, you need to give back to your community, because it's very difficult to be an artist in America. And I think the more that you serve others, the more it comes back to you. So in some ways, it's selfish. It's just, how it is. Love isn't finite. It's the more you spread it, the more there is. And I think we all need that right now.
Absolutely. Miah, thank you so much for being here with us today. Your message is so beautiful. Please get on it. Find this gentleman. He's fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We so appreciate you being on the Etiquette Show today.
Thanks so much, Conchetta.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, guys.
Oh, I know. This is awesome. Oh.